All right, guys, welcome on into Netolic Pro League. This is the 4th edition. Good morning, good evening, wherever you guys are. Evil Geniuses, Radiant Side versus Life on the Dire in a best of 3 round 1 of this week's Cup stage. My name is Ever, joined alongside by ProveAttitude.
Hey guys, very happy to be here today. I think today's set of games are going to be absolutely awesome. Yesterday, pretty short series, Fnatic versus DD Dota, but I think it was really entertaining to say the least. Fnatic did take it 2-0. Their second game of that set was actually a really interesting push strategy, and it's something that you don't see too often nowadays in the competitive scene. They just went all in for a push, and it paid off. They took towers early on, and they did not give DD Dota a chance at all to get back into the game.
You know, for those of you guys who missed it, definitely check out some of the VODs. They were indeed good games. I actually caught the rebroadcast of our own stream, having come off work yesterday. But today, I'm here throughout the entire day, and I'm very excited to be. We have Speed Gaming, formerly Rattlesnake International, up next versus Dignitas. Going to be another good set of games. See exactly how their squad does. I believe this is the first time they'll be playing under the new name as well, since it was announced. And the ban's going a little bit different than normal right now in this one. OD gets taken out, which is usual, and then a troll ban. Second, Chen, ban up by EG. So a lot going to slip through this pool. Naga, Bat, Darkseer. There's going to be some craziness going on in game 1, as normal bans from team 2 are going to be Batrider and Naga, but we're not seeing that here, Proof.
Yeah, that's very true. And I'm just very excited to see all four of the teams play today. I mean, Speed Gaming, formerly, Rattlesnake Int, formerly Kaipi, they've been playing together with most of their players for a while, so I feel like they're pretty ironed out. Dignitas, they have kind of a new lineup going on, so I'm excited to see how they're going to be able to perform. And in this match, you have Evil Geniuses, who almost completely redid their roster as well. I think, what did they have, 2 people from the original roster? Fear and Jo, correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think that was the 2 originals. So they're playing with a complete new roster almost. Life, basically the same roster, but Cinderin, as well as, let's see, who's the other stand-in? Is it Fate? Or is it Link? I think it's... No, Link is...
No, technically Rise, I believe, is Fate, and Cinderin is standing in.
Okay, so just Cinderin standing in.
Link, Ace, and Crit have been with the team for some time. It's Haste, Jo, and Noya who are out currently.
They're the ones that are not able to play today. And kind of interesting, they're brothers. And also, Link and Ace are brothers too. And I just find that absolutely fascinating that you play with family. How does that even work out? Like, I know if I played with my brother, I would probably just like completely flip out on him. Not only because he's bad, but it's that family atmosphere. Like, you don't work with family. It just doesn't work out.
I played with my brother on a Counter-Strike team, and it was okay at best. We actually got up to the main level together, and then we had to go our separate ways in order for things to work out. So, however they're making it work, not only with 1 brother pair, but 2 brother pairs, is kind of beyond me. It's really
I
definitely
agree.
an interesting dynamic to see. However, getting into this game, Elder Titan gets picked up immediately. Not ban out, Wisp. The last ban of that particular pool. This leaves Naga, Batrider, a lot of great pickups to be had here in terms of mobility, and I imagine them taking some. Elder Titan causing so much disruption in the offlane, and actually Ace League really pushing him to the forefront of play in the past couple of weeks has gone something absurd on, I can't remember which team in particular. I want to say it was DK. It was just some absurd record of like 7-1 or 7-2. In terms of win-loss ratio with him.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, I believe it, because Elder Titan is just insane in the competitive scene right now. He really just disrupts the flow of these team fights, too, with being able to sleep heroes out for a little bit. His ultimate is great, even against Magic Immunity people, because you're still going to get hit by it. So I feel like he's just an all-around great hero. He minuses the armor and the resist of all the enemy heroes, so not only is he very effective, he also makes the rest of his team's spells and attacks very effective as well. So great hero all around. And there's that Naga Siren pickup first for life.
Expecting to see the Batrider as the second stage of this, really talking it through and seeing exactly what they have going on. Just came off of, I noticed, playing in a lobby with Navi the other night, so they're very well rehearsed. thus far, even with stand-ins, and it's going to be Clockwork. I really like the mobility that he provides in the shutdown with the cogs, can deal so much damage during the battery assault that it makes him a viable threat regardless of whether or not he's placed in the off lane or the mid lane. Doesn't really matter, just will always be an eminent threat to initiate fights. And I think that's really where the meta is headed right now, is people want to initiate and really lock people down, and Clockwork provides everything in one package that you would want on a team. Same with Naga Net. Very early on in snare, reveal, there's not much you can do to complain about, and the ultimate, yet another team fight ultimate to kind of hit a reset button, and it's been managed much better than last year, I must say.
Yeah, I think people have really gotten used to using Naga Siren and popping off that ultimate at the correct times and using it just all around correctly. And the team, too, the communication with that Naga Siren ultimate, it has to be there. You know, you have to be communicating on when you're going to stop it, if you're going to stop it prematurely, if you're backing up when you pop it, or if you're going to stay and fight and start lining up your ultimates and whatnot. So I agree that it has gotten quite a bit better. And I totally agree with you with the lockdown and just the initiation. And Clockwork is great at that. He isolates people in his cogs, and he prevents anybody else from coming to the rescue because they're going to get bounced back. Batrider, same story there. He isolates somebody, pulls them back to the team, and then they're just going to get picked off before they can even really do anything. And you know, Life is a pretty defined team, in my opinion. I've really liked their performances so far. They did take first place in Netolic number 3 West, which was just, you know, a couple weeks ago. So they did very, very good and got themselves a little bit of money. So they're here to kind of defend their fame and their first place.
Yeah, they're the only returning team out of Netolic Pro League 3, as this edition has been an invitational, and a very good one at that, really amplifying the play and moving up the quality of teams that we've got. Not to say that the amateur teams out of Europe are any worse right now. They're really a strong group of competitors over in that scene, to the point where on any given day, many of them can challenge some of the professional teams. I think some of the only differentiating marks between the two play is consistency at this stage. The skill level has amplified dramatically, and it's nice to see the community growing so much in Europe. I wish we could just get that over in the States. That would be wonderful. Many organizations working on that, whether it be MLG or CEVO over here. And I hope to see just insane play all around this year. It's going to be a very good year in this game moving forward, and teams garnering so much skill. Visage ban out, as well as the Rubik. So support bans seem to be the flavor thus far. Timbersaw also taken away. Not wanting to see that mid, potentially against Batrider, or in the off lane against whatever tri-lane that they have kind of, I guess, in mind to pick so far. Abaddon also taken out of the pool means we will not see the Weaver combo. However, Life immediately goes into picking Weaver regardless. Still a very solid pickup. Should be supported by Naga Siren, and will potentially see a mid pickup for Team Life, as where EG still needs to grab their tri-lane, 2 supports, and a hard carry coming on through here soon.
You know, we talked about kind of the initiation stance that teams are going with, and Weaver's good at that as well. You throw the bugs out right when the fight is about to start, and the bugs latch on, and then the fight starts, and what do? What does the enemy team do? They either have to sit there and kill the bugs off one another, or they have to fight with the bugs just eating them alive and minusing their armor. So either way, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. So if you time those bugs right, they're very good at initiating as well. So I like the Weaver pickup. You know, we've seen so many games where it's kind of hit or miss with Weaver. He either does really, really good, or he does really, really bad. And like, it seems like all the games that we cast, he either just gets a really bad start where he can't get that farm up and the enemy carries just are able to completely overwhelm him, or he has a really good early game. Usually in a tri-lane, he does have a really good early game, and he's able to get the farm and get the items that he needs, and then he is a force to be reckoned with. So again, kind of hit or miss, but we'll see how Life goes with it.
I feel like a lot of teams have recognized the fact that while experience is good on him in terms of being slippery in team fights, he doesn't provide much in the way of an experience boost in the off lane that a lot of others do, such as Darkseer, who actually is still in the pool, funny enough. But it's actually going to be a Mirana pickup for Life, and they could still potentially run Weaver either in the middle or the off lane, switching that out with Clock. If they elect to run Mirana as a hard carry, Mirana can even be run inside of an off lane if they get daring enough to do so. Not a whole lot in terms of survivability, but neither does Luna have that in survivability either. Another carry that takes a little bit to get going that people have shied away from because she can't necessarily even 1v1 an off lane. And maybe that's what Life is banking on, saying that if they send an aggressive tri lane, that there's no way that they'll be able to do anything with Mirana versus Luna. And it's a good message to be had as Bane gets grabbed for EG. One more support down for them and one more support needed for Life. And the lane shuffle for them will begin. So not exactly pointing to which direction they will go just yet. And the Elder Titan, I imagine, just has to take up the off lane solo. I don't see the point in aggressive tri laning. Just mentioned it in the sense that we grabbed Luna, but they will move the support off of Luna into a roaming role if it's going to be a one-on-one situation and they don't need to grab her a whole lot of experience, and if they feel like she can handle herself. So one, maybe you'll have to stay close by, but look for a very roam-oriented support coming down right now. I imagine Life bans the Nyx here. I don't know what else could possibly be better initiation for you, though I don't think they would like to go that much melee is the only downside to that pickup.
You see Elder Titan picked up for Evil Geniuses, and then you look at Life and you say, well, even though Elder Titan is going to be disrupting the team fight, after he does that, it's going to be in Life's ball court, basically, because you have the Naga Siren ultimate who's going to be able to get them out of danger if that Elder Titan does disrupt it enough that it goes very sourly for Life. And then you have the Mirana ult too, so you have two ways to get into fights and two ways to get out of fights. And then on top of that, you have Weaver, who has so much mobility, and you have Clockwork, who's able to initiate. So I feel like Life is doing a very good job countering against that Elder Titan, but have they gone too heavily into that to counter them? Regardless, though, Weaver, Naga Siren, Clockwork, and Mirana are all good heroes any which way you spin it. Bane is pretty good at locking down that Weaver, but the downfall to picking that Bane is that you're going to be standing still for 5 seconds. That's going to make you susceptible to the Clockwork hook, and that's going to make you susceptible to the Mirana arrow as well.
Exactly. It's going to be up to whoever decides to play mid with Hesta Joe being out. My assumption is that it's going to be Ryze, is Cinderin, is nothing but support. I imagine we'll see Sin on Crystal Maiden, and that's going to be that. So one more support pick up there, but the disruption that should come out of them is going to be absurd. They have Naga to de-initiate things, they have Clockwork to shut down, and it's going to be a Witch Doctor support. We haven't seen any of from EG. The stun is relatively slow, but once his Maledict and Ultimate get going, he has to be handled immediately, and maybe that's the plan, is to take some of that focus off of the Luna, even off of the Bane, dare I say. So they won't be able to handle Elder Titan and Bat until extremely late. A lot of threats from the EG lineup, and on paper it seems good. We'll see exactly how it plays down as we get into game 1 in this best of 3 of EG versus Life. For the EG squad, Fear on Bane Elemental, Fogged on the Witch Doctor, Jo on the Luna, MSS mid Batrider, and Universe Elder Titan offlane.
Alrighty guys, for Life, on the Dire side, we have Link, that's going to be Weaver. Cinderin, the stand-in, will be on the Clockwork. Ryze or Fate will be on your Crystal Maiden. Ace will be the Mirana, and finally, Crit is that Naga Siren. We've seen Crit on Naga Siren before, actually last season. I don't think it was the last game, but I think it was maybe just the round before it. But they're smoked up. They're looking to pick somebody off here, and we'll see if they are going to be successful.
Cinderin on Clockwork. Not support. Interesting.
Yeah,
a little bit of a quick roam coming down actually from Life right now. Arrow forthcoming, misses MSS narrowly. And they will get away from this one. Almost walking right into a Team Life gank. You want to intro the other side, man?
I did. I did Life already.
Yeah, you just went dead silent on me.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I had turned my screen acceleration down, but I actually turned it up. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm moving way too fast.
Yeah, no fast moving camera.
We don't yeah, definitely not. We don't need anybody getting headaches from me.
Yeah, no worries. Some epileptic seizures.
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. If you had a seizure just moments ago, feel free to blame me, sue me, call my lawyer. I will take care of it, no worries.
So it will be a support Mirana right now. Well, actually, supported Mirana unless we see the Naga get the farm out of this lane. I imagine it's going to be the Mirana while Crit can play the support. But even if they decide to farm the Naga, either solution is fine by me. seems like it's going to be good. Link against ET is just going to have to watch out very early against the damage that Spirit can throw out. It's extremely high and it's menacing. And Enfeeble already being applied to Ace. So they understand that that's going to be the size of it. Stun out on Fate, already going down to half health immediately. And there you see the power of Witch Doctor early on. Even one stun, regardless of whether or not being slow, can be fatal if in the wrong position.
It really can, and this is going to be a very exciting bottom lane, honestly. There's going to be some deaths pretty soon, I reckon. And we've seen Ace on this Mirana before absolutely dominate. I casted that game with you, so I'm sure you remember where Ace was just completely roaming, making things happen for his team over and over again, and it was very, very exciting to see. So Ace on that Mirana once again should tell us that this is going to be a really cool and exciting game. Mid lane is MSS going up against Synderin. So Synderin, like you said, not in his support role, but he's mid, and we'll see how he fares. I think this is going to be interesting against MSS. Look at him just pop up those cogs, though. Able to push MSS back, burn the mana, and then he's going to back up now. He does have 3 stacks on him, and you definitely do not want those stacks to start adding up on yourself.
Do it with flair.
Cinder in middle with a higher win ratio. That's not a bad percentage to have, an extra 9%. That's 1 in every 10. And another stun coming up on top of Fate. No care that he's on top of the tower. Jo diving in front and actually taking the arrow. You can see just how low of an HP hero that this Luna is. Luna dropping down below half. They get a few more pieces of auto attack in as the Nightmare expires, but good defensive Nightmare will keep him alive to fight another day in this lane and really trading haymakers out of this bottom lane. It's going to be one to watch, though I still imagine First Blood accidentally slipping from another lane. Top lane, you can see the Universe Spirit damage versus Link. Link going to be able to harass, and look at the auto damage out of Universe, just smashing Link for a good almost 1/4 of his HP in just one shot once that Spirit returns home.
Yeah, proving to be a really interesting matchup, actually. Elder Titan sitting at 11, Weaver sitting at 11 as well, so they're definitely both doing fine in this lane and just wanting to harass back and forth, but Universe, no fear whatsoever going up against that Weaver this early on. Absolutely just ready to right-click him down. Bottom lane, everybody has a stun of some kind in this lane, and now they're going to have it go on Jo, but it looks like they had a little bit of miscommunication. Going on Fog now, Ace taking a lot of damage. Who's going to fall first to leap away? It's going to be Fog. Fog is out. First Blood goes to life. Ace barely getting out of there, that leap saving his life.
You saying life will never cease to
I'm
crack me up
sorry.
as the southern accent comes right out of the proven one. And good First Blood, really good mobility out of Ace. Knew exactly what his threshold was, and that Jo couldn't put enough pressure to keep him down. And First Blood will be struck on the aggressive tri-lane for life. And although Mirana hasn't garnered much in the way of last hits, going about a third of what Jo has farmed up on this Luna, and still managing to pull out that First Blood, which is all that matters at the end of the day. Net worth should show right around the same, everyone competing around that 1K marker. Mirana just shortly behind, and that First Blood catching them up in a hurry and making this offlane a success. If they can pull anything out of the offlane, it's going to be that Jo is simple to shut down, more simple than I'm sure any team cares to admit. Just Luna, not high HP going on unless she gets a lot of free farm. And it's hard to give a Luna free farm when you can just so easily roam one hero into the lane and start shutting down. Now they're going to have a counter initiation here on Crit. Crit not able to get away from that one, but it might be at the cost of Jo, and it is. Arrow slams immediately into him. Fear out of mana. Might not be able to do anything here, but the Enfeeble still a whole lot for Ace to handle. Trying to get some damage in there, but not able to take down an additional carry as a result. But hey, they grabbed another kill.
That's exactly what you said, is that Luna just incredibly squishy early on, honestly, and she has such low range that she has to get really close into the creeps to actually be able to get those last hits. And because she has to do that, she's getting very dangerously close to getting picked off, and we just saw that happen. She got picked off just because she has to go in like that. So the decision, and now hold on, Fog, he gets netted, he gets arrowed, there goes the Frost Nova, it doesn't even matter, he's just down. There is so much burst damage and so much lockdown out of life that there is just almost no chance for EG on this bottom lane. Had they not gone this aggressive tri-lane against EG, Luna would be getting that farm and would be pretty brutal to go up against late game. But now, because of this decision out of life, Luna's only sitting at 16 CS, has died once, and now the supports are starting to get picked off as well. So 3-1 in favor of life already, and EG, they've got to be scared just because this aggressive tri-lane out of life is just absolutely brutal.
All EG's lineup is meant to do is really just turtle them out for just a bit longer. They have to get experience to get rolling. The level 6 ultimate from both Jo and Fog is going to be pivotal to how the team fight goes. They're trying to line up an arrow right now on Jo. Recognizing his supports aren't there, they're going to get spotted out in a moment by Fear coming around the tree line here. And Fate elects to back off. No engagement going to be forthcoming as a result. Mid lane, still MSS taking a lot of mana damage off of this Cinder and Cogs. Cinder's done a good job in shutting him down so far. Kind of pushing him away, and now a DD rune top. Universe going to bottle that up. Move back and complete rune control. Coming out here for EG bot lane. It's going to be Fate going down. Arrow coming in. Fear in a lot of trouble. Crit and company trying to pick that up. Ace still engaged here. And now Fog in trouble running. Crit trying to get away as well. Ace recognizes he can't really get a kill. Salve popped, but it's going to be immediately canceled. Jo with the double kill. Looking for the triple stun coming out of the Witch Doctor. And now Fog just trying to do what he can. And the leap away comes up in time. Ace will walk off, seeing both his supports get decimated in the score. Get closed in terms of gap.
Very nice punch back out of EG. Recognized that the Swarts were possibly going to the river, possibly going mid. Looped around. Ace was not there, and they were able to kind of get the jump on him. Unfortunately, they did lose the Bane in the process because Bane got struck by that arrow. But it was still an okay engagement. They did take a little bit of control of this lane. At least Luna was able to get back to the lane and not have those supports to deal with. All the actions on this bottom lane. Top lane is doing just fine. Both the ET and the Weaver happy to just farm and trade blows back and forth. And mid lane just as well. Happy to farm and trade blows. The Batrider sitting at 32 and Clockwork's at 19. So Clockwork having a little bit of a rough time. Looks like Life might be sneaking around to line up yet another arrow onto one of the EG heroes down here. EG trying to stay near the creep so that they don't get struck by that arrow. The support's hanging back, but look at Jo. You can tell just how fearful he is. When he goes into creep like this, he immediately runs back to try and dodge any spells that might come his way. So it's a very scary lane for Jo. He wants to get that farm. And I gotta say, it's 8 minutes in, but he has 25 CS. He has 2 kills as well. So this lane is not going terribly for him. It could definitely be a lot worse for him.
Had it not been for the support pickoffs, I would have said that Life takes absolute advantage of this lane regardless of how it turns out. Even if it goes even, they take advantage. Cinderin picking up his first rune as he moves back over to that middle lane. Keep an eye on exactly how he uses that invisibility, but Jo really needs a lot of farm, like I've been mentioning, to get going. As we've seen in these fights, if they turn the focus onto him, he doesn't have much. Now Universe has rotated over to bot lane 4 for EG. And Jo just kind of feeling out Ace. Ace has no regen to really stay in lane. They're going to rotate one reg onto him in form of Tango from Fate. And now, not much going to happen. They recognize Universe is here. All of Life is way, way, way back, and they have the mobility to get away if things go awry as well. So instead, they'll just rotate Universe back up to the top side, where Weaver is game leading in farm. And Link really going to have a good time with all of this money he's garnering up by being solo, and Universe forced to leave the lane to try and make something happen elsewhere because they recognize they're really not getting much advantage out of Luna. And maybe that's going to be the silver lining here, as while Elder Titan might be able to team fight very effectively, Link is going to have a huge amount in terms of damage items and farm coming into these fights once he's ready to go. And it's only 9 minutes in, but already you can see his net worth is still game leading at 3K.
And now we have Clockwork moving down to the bottom lane. He's looking to get his own initiation here. Does have the invisibility in the rune as well. He's going to trap Fog. Fog getting net as well. There's no way out for him. He's going to try it and go ahead and pop the cogs, or not the cogs rather, but the casks. He gets it off, but at the cost of his own life. And now Mirana ultimate is going to get popped. They're going to see if they can sneak around. Doesn't look like there's any options here for them unless they can land an arrow. But Batrider, he's burning everything. Cinder and looking to get another cogs off, but he's getting burned up as he does so. Arrow goes out, pops the creep. Jo, his life is saved for now thanks to that creep. But now Cinder, he's trying to help his team out. He's got to pop out of the cogs. Luna, MSS getting pushed back. Cogs are down. Life is going to make it out here just fine. Low HP on everybody, but couldn't manage to pick off anybody else other than that Witch Doctor, but they got him and they didn't lose anybody. So still a win-win in that regard. Link on the top lane taking so much harassment from the Spirit ever.
Really poised decision there and probably hard for Synderen not to go on that fight and grab the bat, recognize that he could just fly right out. He could lock him down for a time between the battery assault as well as the cogs taking away additional mana after he attempts to fly out of them, and still stunning for just a bit longer, but instead says, you know what, we do have that advantage, let's just go ahead and walk away. Almost died as a result, really isn't tanky just yet, but he's not slotted to win this lane against the Batrider. So MSS not able to do anything just yet, doesn't have the blink. 11 minutes in, needs to get something going for his team soon to buy Luna time and space. They need to get the roam game going.
Yeah, once he does have that Blink Dagger, we will see a lot of rotations out of him, probably specifically on this bottom lane. I mean, you can try and gank the Weaver, but you're going to be much more successful and effective by coming to the bottom lane and helping that Luna win the lane, just like you were saying. It looks like Ace looking to line up yet another arrow, but realizes that it's getting a little bit rougher. As EG starts to get some levels, you have the sleep that's going to disrupt the fight. You have the pure damage brain staff that is going to be doing a significant amount of damage. And Luna just now hits level 6. So if you fight off in the woods, it's not going to end well for you. Now Ace getting himself in a sticky situation. Might just get slept here. Does get slept. The cog, or the casks rather, I don't know why I keep calling it cogs. Casks bouncing, but not well enough, and now the arrow lands on Fog. Starfall goes down, lands huge amounts of damage. Bane is going to get his life back up with a brain sap though, and now Fate. He's taking a lot of right-click damage. Syndra in air, he's in with the cogs, he's popping everybody, but that's actually almost his own ally, but Bane was stuck in there in the mist. Ace was there as well to deal that right-click damage, and the two supports for EG are down once again.
Really just solid all-around effort right there out of EG to try and make something happen, but I think a bit overzealous at the same time. Bat still didn't have that blink finish up, and even if he had showed up, would have been very shaky on his mobility. Now he's rotated up topside, he's got a smoke up. They're gonna see if they can grab Link with this blink dagger before they know that he's got it. And instead, Crit gonna try and spot it out. Smoke's still up, but they might just grab Crit instead, but not noticing him in time was MSS, and now MSS, the jig is up, and he's gonna have to walk off with nothing, empty-handed yet again, and they know he's got a blink dagger. They paid enough attention off of that rotation. There's no other reason for him to be there unless it's a blink dagger. But really good response out of Life every single time any of these events tend to go down.
It really was, and Link didn't even have time-lapse available, so that could have been very, very bad for him if he had actually gotten caught with that Flaming Lasso and the Blink Dagger. Would have been bad. Bottom lane, Ace going in, looking to set up something down here. Fogged out all by himself, isolated, and Ace might just have a go. Starfall's going to connect. Arrow does not connect, though. Just completely whiffs that one, unfortunately, but now Fogged, he's running back. Looks like action's happening on the top lane. The counter gank came in the form of Synderen.
Yeah, Cinder in rotation up top, able to just lock down Universe, not able to do a thing on the Elder Titan. Away from that, the only chance you have is to sleep, but again, as I mentioned during the draft, it's going to be the Battery Assault. Ace now getting caught out by a Witch Doctor ultimate as well as the Lasso out of bat, and 2 ultimates is more than enough to shut down Ace on this Mirana for some time. And although they push Jo off the lane on that gank and grab 2 supports in terms of kills, that's going to even the scales yet again, 8-5.
Gonna have to wait for Crit to reconnect here, but Ace doing very well, 4-1, same score almost as Luna, who's also sitting at 4-1. Taking a look at the net worth, Weaver is top of the scoreboard in that regard, but Luna and the bottom are very close together, same with the Batrider as well as the Elder Titan. But yeah, Elder Titan getting what was coming to him on that bot lane, or top lane rather, getting picked off. Link is going to have a grand time now, having a little bit more free farm in this lane, but look at his level, he's sitting at level 11, so really soaking up the experience, the solo experience, mind you, in this lane, and getting the CS as well, sitting at 75, top of the scoreboard, tied up there with his enemy. That's going to be Batrider. But it's a great game so far, Ever. Honestly, you're sitting at 14 minutes into this game, already 13 kills, Life taking a very slight lead, but looking at the gold graphs are just barely in favor, only about 700 in favor of Life, and the experience graphs just about the same, about 1,000 there in that regard. So very close all around, despite Life having a pretty good early game in this bottom tri-lane. EG has had some punch back.
It's interesting to see this dynamic play out, because while EG needs farm, so does Life in many ways. Mirana is not the strongest carry without farm on her person, and they recognize that they can just go even keel on the bottom lane, and it's still a minor victory. And the one-on-one between Weaver and company on Link versus Universe is fine by them because they get more damage out of that lane, and then they can just keep farming at the pace EG is farming. And realistically, the way it should play out is that Life just wins outright if EG doesn't take better fights. And the reason why I say that is because then you'll have Clockwork up in terms of experience and mobility to kind of counteract what the Batrider does. It'll be a shutdown towards the supports who are forced to stay in lane and not grab much in the way of advantages out of roaming. So if they can't roam off of the lane because of the presence of others, it just makes things harder. So I think it's safe to say that Life likes the way the pace of this game is going.
I would definitely agree with that. I do like the Sentry Ward, or rather Observer Ward, out of EG. Anytime that Ace moves over to line up an arrow, you're going to be spotted out with the Observer Ward. So really great placement there from the supports. Top lane, looks like they might try to have another go on Link. Time-lapse is available, but Fear is there with the Fiend's Grip. Universe kind of looking to bait him out and might just manage to do so, actually. Kind of biding their time here, making sure that the lane is pushed back far enough so that they don't actually have to dive the tower, but they might just be waiting too long. Fate standing nearby as the stand-in. Looks like Fear might just get caught out if Fate comes around fast enough. Fear does get caught out. Rocket is going to spot him out officially, and now Universe and Fear, they're on the run. The Spirit's going to go up to try and buy time, but Fear, he's getting caught by the bugs. He's got to brain sap something, but Weaver running deep. This could be a death for Link, but no. He time-lapses back, but right into MSS. MSS pulls him back with the Flaming Lasso. Cinder in there for the support, throws up the cogs, takes a heaps in damage from that burn, though. And now it looks like they're all going to get away just fine. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, it looks like Ace and Jo went toe-to-toe. And Jo, he came out on top of that one.
Jo throwing up a mega kill streak. And that's going to start to get menacing against his Team Life squad. That aggression out of Link, not what they needed for Team Life. And now lapsing right into a lasso. Able to get saved out of it, but still not able to grab anything on kills. MSS doing a good job shutting it down. He needs to show up, and we saw it. It doesn't matter even if Cinderin grabs the bat inside the cogs and the cogs push him off. He's still able to do so much damage with that fire on the ground. Just really good all-around play there from EG in terms of the responsiveness. Now taking the seat that Life held at the beginning of the game, which is the aggressor. And they need to early on with this bat. Bat looking to finish up. Four staff has 1200 to his name, and I imagine we're going to start seeing team fights evolve more rapidly as the middle of the game comes about. Fogged left alone on this bottom lane with two heroes close by. Ace kind of rotating back down. See if they can grab him out. The tower is sitting at about a third health. They might want to start look to pushing some of this down, and the advantages that they've already created, just taking advantage of them. Taking advantage of the advantages? Yeah, sure. Sure.
Looks like the tower push is going to come down here pretty shortly. The Observer Ward is already placed up from Crit, so that means that they do want to go ahead and start pushing this down. But now, Crit looking to see if he can catch Fogged out. Ace here as well. Looks to take down the tower first before going on any of the heroes. Fog hopes to be able to contest that. The TPs are coming in. This could just end badly, but Crit, he has the Naga Siren ultimate. Gonna go ahead and let Ace get out of here scot-free, and Crit, he's just gonna mosey on out of there. He's gonna be fine as well. Meanwhile, mid lane looks like Cinderin. He's got MSS diving on top of him. Flaming Lasso, he's burning up. Cinderin doesn't stand a chance there. Now on the top lane, more action on top, but not much. Link just time-lapsing out of Universe's danger zone. Look at the right-click damage from Universe, but now Universe on the run. He's got bugs eating him up alive. This should be a kill from Link. Link, he has the spirit on top of him. A few more right-clicks. The bugs are going. There you go. Universe down for the count.
Even though Life, just lost Cinderin on the mid lane, doesn't matter. Link is going to start to get out of control here. He's 2-0, and his net worth is 6.4k, pulling away from this Luna. And Luna is not going to make as efficient early game use of the farm, needs to tank up a bit, grabs Helm of the Dominator, so her damage is not quite going to be as high. Fate rotating onto that mid lane. MSS kind of wants to throw up the lasso there, but it won't matter. Cinderin able to lock down so far. They should get a kill here. Able to actually flame break him away, and that was much better situation. And Fogged actually just ultimate right through all of the damage, and Fate just stands in it. And Cinderin recognizes what's going on and possibly wanted to pick up Fog, but didn't have the damage to finish. Noticed a little bit too late and wasn't able to rotate over. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication, but Ace takes out bottom tower, and things are now rolling Life's direction.
Fogged throws up his ultimate, so Fate's like, alright, I guess the supports are using their ultimate, so it just goes ahead and pops Freezing's Field right next to Fogged as he's just getting pounded down on from that death ward. So, again, I don't know if that was the best decision. The Moonlight Shadow almost ended up saving Crystal Maiden, but not quite. Score is 11-8, rounding on the 20-minute mark. The gold graphs are still pretty darn even, only about a 1,200 difference. Life's still taking the lead in that regard. XP, though, almost dead even. About 60 difference there. Just 60. So this game is very close. Despite it looking like 11-8, Life might have a slight lead, but it is a very, very slight lead. You've got to start worrying about this Weaver and about Ace because you haven't had very much contests on this top lane, at least, because Weaver sitting at 2-0 has not yet dropped a death at all, and also has 116 CS, has the Lincolns as well. So this Weaver is going to start getting pretty scary for EG. On top of that, you're going to have to worry about Ace too. Ace has had a decent game for it too, but now Weaver on the top lane. Time lapses back immediately. Very quick reactions out of Link. That surely would have been a death if he had not used that time lapse.
Top tower gonna go down for EG squad, getting them right back in the game on tier 1s. I'm surprised it's taken this long to see tower destruction. We're 20 minutes in. There's a lot of tier 1s still standing, only 2 down, 1 aside. As Link roams over, tries to get a hold of MSS before the blink comes up, but not quite in time. And rotations are abound. More space provided on the map, but really heavy, intensive farming game instead of being, I guess, more centered on bulldozing towers. Neither team has an insane push lineup. They're really geared to fight. And 20 minutes into the game, we see 19 kills. A little bit of freeze up on the creep that Luna had going on. And the ancient stack is going to be revealed as a result. And they already have an obs up there, but they know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they definitely do. Only 2 stacks able to get on that ancient stack before getting stopped in that regard. Universe heading to the mid lane, sitting at level 12, so really decent level on him. He's going to be very powerful in these team fights. Weaver is top of the hero level. That's going to be at 14. The Woods are warded out, and they do possibly see Jo here looking to sneak around with that ultimate. Level 11, so level 2 ultimate available. Moonlight Shadow going to be popped, not near any wards. I don't think there was any vision on that. Jo none the wiser, but there's only 2 heroes here against the 3 from EG. This might not end as well, but Net into the arrow. Jo's just going to get picked off here immediately. Has the ultimate though, but there's some Naga Siren illusions to tank those. Look at them just tank it up, but regardless, Clockwork's going to be going down. Ace goes down. The song, just a little bit too late there, but Crit is going to make it out. Yes, he does, just barely. The blink a little too far out of MSS.
Yeah, Lasso was at the ready, but not able to take advantage. And now Link taking a whole lot of damage, forced to actually back up and lapse through. And Universe is kind of manning up there, throwing some autos down. Really good damage from either side. LS finished up on Link, and they trade haymakers, but no one in this game is really too tanky. You see that, you know, ultimate from the Luna in the Eclipse going out and still going off during the Naga ultimate. It's going to be a problem for them if they don't have any sort of creeps around, or if they don't have the whole team. And even if they do, not a lot of them have high health pools. If it, I guess, manages to snag Fate here, or even Crit, we're talking about some really dead supports quickly, or even Ace, who's not tanky. He's going to have to rotate well away from the Eclipse next time. Knows better for next time, certainly.
Witch Doctor actually putting points into the stats just because he wants to be a little more tanky. Sitting at 1100 HP on a support is really nothing to scoff at. That's fairly tanky in that regard, but as a result, you're only getting 1 in that Voodoo Restoration and 0 in the Maledict. So you're solely being relied upon for that cask and for your ultimate, which in this game, getting that ultimate off might be proven to be a little bit harder. So we'll see how that works out, but the stats are definitely nice for the Witch Doctor to be able to survive a little bit better. You look at Bane, who's only sitting at 872 CS, and that's pretty squishy. You do have to sleep to kind of control things a little better with that utility, but still fairly easy to get picked off if you get netted with an arrow. It's rough for EG because Life does have so much lockdown. We haven't seen much from Elder Titan though ever, so I feel like once he starts getting in these team fights full swing, things are going to get really interesting because there hasn't been just huge team fights yet. It's always been a few pickoffs. Arrow flies, hits a creep. Jo is going to be just fine for now. He's trying to creep up on this bottom lane, but still, he's doing really well. He's sitting at 7-1 and 110 CS, so he's had a decent game, honestly.
Even though it's the high kill game, I have to agree with you. It's better than the games that we saw out of the Americas qualifiers where they failed to take 5. Take 5 actually disqualified from MLG Columbus because of roster swapping, which is unfortunate. I know that was their whole purpose in forming as a stack, and no one even really knows just yet if Take 5 will be attending the LAN event out of their qualifier. Now, Bat, recognizing the imminent threat on the hill, MSS going to be able to rope up Ace, and now Life in a lot of trouble. Ultimate out of Jo, and BKB is up. They're not going to be able to do anything. Ace popping a BKB own, and Jo goes godlike. This is insane. Life needs to handle this in a hurry as Jo is going to start slipping well out of control. 12-11 is the score, but it's going to look much more brutal and easy in these team fights as Jo looks to initiate, and his items are starting to reflect. BKB plus 1400, tower goes down, and EG is handily ahead in this game, all in one fatal swoop.
Yeah, doing really well. It looked like it was going to be a really rough lane for Jo early on, but they took control back of the lane and back of the game in general. So really great on their part to get themselves back, and taking down the tier 1 on the top and bottom and mid lane is going to be great in terms of that gold. So gold, just it's evening up, honestly. Only 800 of a difference now. So Live kind of starting to lose that slight early game lead that they had. The experience is now definitely going the way of EG, sitting at a 3k advantage. And all of Life hanging around Roshan. Looks like Link is going to go ahead and start this off, and EG is pretty spread out. I don't know if they're going to be able to get here in time. The ward did spot some heroes in this general area, so they should know that's going on, but I don't know. Roshan, he's taking a decent amount of damage, but you still have everybody just creeping. Jo's at less than half HP, so there's really no way that they can actually contest this. And Cinderin is going to hope to buy some time in this middle lane to allow his team to take Roshan uncontested, and they're going to do just that ever.
Took him a while to get going for me to be fully convinced that that was what was going to happen. They're going to try and set up that stomp. Here it comes, channeled on through. Link kind of goes down. They actually port in off of that Spirit. Really well done. I didn't know you could do that. MSS getting involved. Has the Firefly up. Wasn't able to grab anyone. Maybe thought he was actually going in for an Aegis snipe, but the damage from Life is slower than anyone should have anticipated. So Aegis going to be going up on Link. And the Weaver is going to have a second opportunity at the fight. Looking to finish up his Desolator and get a lot in the way of damage. Should have the gold here shortly in another couple hundred as he makes his way towards bottom lane to make sure that that happens. Did you know you could port in on that Spirit? That's news to me.
I did actually, only because I've looked up differences on Elder Titan in the past, and I believe that's not something you can do in Dota 1. It's specifically to Dota 2 Elder Titan, so it's pretty interesting. I've never seen anybody actually use it like and have it be that viable, but it's possible, and you know, putting it to good use, I guess. So very interesting to see.
That was a really good synergy had it fired off. I mean, they could have technically taken an initiation.
Ooh, Jo.
Yeah, Arrow going on through, connecting to Jo. And they're not going to look to press this too much. Fate going to walk right on top of the Centaur, sees that they are looking to stack yet again. And Fog actually plants a sentry down right on top of Fate, who had just grabbed an Invis room and not able to pick him up in time.
Fate's like, darn it, my plans were spoiled. Stupid witch doctor. They just
Spidey senses were tingling.
Yeah, they have this feud going on. Fogged and Fate kind of having a little feud, but now Link and Crit, they're here. They're gonna catch Fog out. Look at him just explode. He didn't have a chance to do anything, and that Moonlight Shadow is gonna get popped. Crit's gonna get hit by the ultimate of the Elder Titan, though. Big damage coming out there. Picks off the Naga Siren, and now they don't have any of the ultimates to be able to back out of this fight, but luckily for them, it's going in their favor. Bane's down, hookshot onto Universe. Universe doesn't have much, can't do much with the battery assault, stopping anything he tries to use, and now Jo gets in. BKB, huge ultimate, MSS is there as well. Link goes down, but he has that Aegis, he's coming back to life. Apes might just get picked off, leaps away. He should make it to safety. Bat Raider, hot on his heels though. Really nice flame break is going to secure that, but now MSS, he's got to run from Link. Link with that Desolator is going to do lots of damage. Look at Link. really estimating where MSS was going to go, trying to cut him off, but that Batrider, he's slippery. Big wins for Life in that team fight, though.
I still think despite Ace going down on the Rana, it's fine. Link picks up the double kill, does some more damage, expends the Aegis. That's what it was meant to do. Get him back into the game. And even though things are 15-14, if they can take down Jo, he's almost 2 comeback towers worth of gold. If they can secure that onto one hero at this stage with that streak he's got going on. He's 10 for nil since dying early on in the game, and that godlike streak is going to play a huge role coming up in these team fights. If they can secure it on Link or Ace, Ace will be right back into the game and farm, and Link will just spiral out of control.
It's true. Already, Link is doing incredibly well. Has yet to drop a death. The Aegis death obviously does not count. So sitting at 4-0 and 204 CS. I mean, that's absolutely huge. And that's what I'm saying when you have a Weaver, it's hit or miss. And this is definitely a hit for Link. He is doing very, very well. His team has done a great job creating that space for him so that the heat is off of his back. And as a result, he's able to get those items up and be so incredibly farmed. Sitting at 2,200 in the bank right now. So doing great. Bottom lane, almost a confrontation, but they realize what's going on from Life's side. Everybody's starting to back up. They do have the Naga Siren ultimate still to be able to back out of this officially. MSS there doesn't quite realize that Ace is nearby to be able to lasso him. So everybody backing up and retreating. MSS looking to farm the jungle just a little bit, waiting for the creeps to respawn. Mid lane, Universe and Jo, or rather Fog that is, looking to deal with this Weaver in the mid lane. But it's tough. Despite not having the Aegis anymore, it's still going to be really hard to take out that Weaver.
Universe plays a mean Nature's Prophet, but his Elder Titan doesn't seem too shabby either. I can't wait to see the application of Earth Splitter lineups in the team fights. Already we see he knows how to control the Astral Spirit. Just a matter of how they can take advantage of it. A little bit of a rotation coming out of Ace, moving on this mid side. They'll spot out Universe across the river, but they won't go. All of EG looks to group up on the tier 1. Making their way in, Jo laying down some initial damage. Fortification at the ready if they elect to defend this, but instead, looks like they're going to go trade for that tier 1 with pushing the tier 2 fortification to just stall this out. MSS blinking in, trying to grab hold of Crit. Crit just out of reach in terms of maybe under 100 units worth of space between him and that lasso. Really close there, not able to lock it down. So tier 1 for tier 1, both sides pushing on through. They want to trade for 2 tier 2s. Link laying the beatdown on this top tower, while bottom tower just gets under fire with Jo. Jo trying to take the creep wave through. And this is going to force off EG. EG's not going to be able to do anything but defend. And Link dealt a whole lot of damage, got it down below half. It's now sitting at about a 1/3 health. Really good job from them to push 2 lanes at the same time, recognizing the opportunity and just taking an even kill advantage. Now Crit will get caught out. MSS, a lot of trouble here, pulling him into a situation he just didn't want to be in, and so Crit goes down as a result. Fog did expend an ultimate as well, but that's exactly what they needed to do. Kill secured.
Crit, thinking that everybody had backed up to defend, but you had 2 ninjas hiding in the woods, were able to jump on him before he could even pop that Naga Siren ultimate. So really good effort on their parts, but yeah, entirely right. You could try and push down this tier 2 tower, but you were going to lose tier 2 towers in the process after already trading that tier 1 tower in mid. So you had to back up. So really great decision out of Life to keep split pushing and not go back to that bottom tier tower. They knew they had the advantage, and they knew that they could force EG to TP back. So they did so. They got their tower, they forced a few TPs out of it, they lost the Naga Siren. Arrow's gonna fly in the mid lane, does not connect with anybody though. Rocket trying to scout that out a little better, but it's probably a good thing that that arrow did not hit, because that might have encouraged Life to go on that kill, and it would not have ended well for them with everybody from EG hanging around. It would have been pretty bad. So now tier 2 tower is going to get pushed down, and now there's not much pressure out of Life. Other than that top lane getting pushed by the Weaver, you have all 4 of the other heroes here defending, and you might just be able to force the Weaver to come back. Weaver going to be able to do a decent amount of damage with that Desolator on the tower though, and we'll have to back up now. Jo TPing back to defend against that, but Jo sitting at really decent items. The Manta, the BKB, and the Helmet of the Dominator. All great items for her. She is not squishy by any means at all anymore, and has that damage output to really go against the Weaver as well as the Potom.
They have the ability to initiate on their own terms if they can find Jo out with Synderen on this clock, but It's going to take some time to line something like that up, and as a result, if he does get the Manta going, and that's exactly what I was going to mention, is those items starting to get way up there. It's going to be harder and harder to shut Jo down. Luna, Spiral's really just in an unmanageable situation if you leave her alone towards the end stages of a game, almost worse than what an Anti-Mage becomes. She's able to steal so much life, that AoE that she has through the bouncing Moonglaive, so much you can do on that hero, and they know that they need to try and split push these lanes down when they have the chance. Link playing his role to a T, and now Fear gonna spot out Fate if he continues over the tree line. They recognize something's going on there, spotted out a Satyr in terms of vision, and Link kind of moves away. Fate still there, right on top of 4 heroes. I don't think he realizes until just now what exactly is going on. The push forthcoming. They don't have a lane split push this time around. Fortification still down. And it looks like EG is able to just kind of route out as many towers as they want with no ability for life to contest without the team showing up just yet. Way in the background is Ace. He's going to ult in, and they're going to have a go. Link moving on top of Fear. Fear going to take a lot of damage very quickly. Might not even be able to get the ultimate out if they time this correctly. And they have the ult to fall back on for Crit. Crit not able to get it off. Slept immediately, and ET coming up. Huge universe right in there. Big Earth Splitter down around 2. And all of life is disintegrating. Ace, the last one to go. Lasso applied to him by MSS, and it's too much. Tier 2 and 5-man down for Team Life as EG will come crashing down on this tier 3. I still don't think with that buyback that Synderen can defend all by his lonesome. Just tries to buy some time with Cogs. Fortification still not up and won't be for some time. 30-second window here for them to do something. EG moving on in. Tower disintegrating under the weight, and Synderen not going to be able to do anything. Naga ult is the only thing they could do. They needed the fortification here, and the racks will go down as a result. Synderen electing not to jump in there and make the situation worse for his team. And they are now down 1 racks.
Holy crap. EG, what a fight for them. That Elder Titan sleep into the Luna ultimate, into the Earth Splitter. Absolutely insane. The communication was definitely there for EG, and that's absolutely amazing considering how many players they have on their team that they didn't previously have. So very great communication there. Everything just lined up for EG in that team fight. You even had a gym that, I think the gym, it was dropped, so I was thinking maybe it was on...
Naga had it.
Did Naga have it? Okay, so Naga had it. EG didn't have it, but now they do have it, and that's going to be really good against the Weaver now, as well as the Moonlight Shadow. So you gave EG a really powerful weapon. Not only did they 5-man wipe you, but they also took a really powerful weapon from you, and a rack. So EG insanely on top of this game right now. You look at the scoreboard, or the graph board rather, and you see EG pulling ahead in that gold graph.
They already had a gem on Witch Doctor. I'm just going to...
Oh, did they? Okay, so there are 2 gems out then.
Yeah, no, we're all good. I mean, they were able to go one-on-one. Smoke up right now from the Life Squad is going to turn into a Roshan, but even still, it was a huge team fight. Universe positioning was just flawless. I don't know how that could have gone better for them. They have an armor debuff this time on Roshan. It's going to go much quicker for them. And this might inch them back into the game if they can take a team fight on their own terms. That's going to be the determining factor, is if they can just initiate on their own terms. And it looks good so far. Synderen trying to line up. There's the ult from him. A hook shot in. Fear. Jo. Lockdown Jo. Immediate ult response. Not going to take any damage to Sin with that BKB up. Fear still alive in the fray. This is going to be GG for life. Ace pulled back into the flames. Going to go down in a matter of moments. Tries to leap away. Huge Earth Splitter. Leaps right into it. Link now in trouble. Aegis already expanded. Fate, dying moments, tries to throw down an ultimate, get anyone from EG, but it's only Fear who's down, and Link getting obliterated in a matter of seconds here. Goes down, another 5-man wipe for life, and that will be all she wrote for game 1.
The team fight out of EG is just way too much, and this Luna is so farmed up that despite the farm that Link had, he was the only one. Everybody else really didn't have enough to go up against how big this Luna is and how much team fight EG had. Even though you have the Clockwork with the initiation and the Potom with a decent amount of damage, it just didn't matter. You have 2 ultimates getting you out of sticky situations, and they couldn't even get fired off in that team fight. Miranda got hers off, but it didn't even matter. They had the gem, so it's rendered useless now from here on out as long as EG has the gen. And Jim, and I reckon this has got to be a good game ever. I don't know how Life can really pull themselves out. And now Crit, he gets Flaming Lassoed. Universe netted down. Link's going to deal a lot of damage to him with that minus armor, but now the Naga Siren Sleep goes out. Crit's going to go ahead and save herself. The rest of the heroes coming in for reinforcements. Universe looks to get picked off here, trapped into the cogs with Synderen. Synderen managing that kill. Fog with a huge ultimate, dealing huge amounts of damage to everybody. Synderen pops the Blade Mail, manages to take down Fogs in the process, and now the TP is coming forth. That's going to be Ilma's, but he realizes he is all alone. Gets out of there very quickly. Ace has that gem back available on Life's side.
This has just got to be GG regardless. I mean, it's not a bad little victory in some regards there for Life, but still not the timing they needed to get this rolling. And this Luna is just completely out of control. Level 21. 39 minutes into the game, and really they can't do anything to lock, even if it's a 4-second BKB, which it's still 6 seconds, but even if it was a short 4-second BKB, as long as it's popped at the appropriate time, Life is not going to be able to do anything. Synderen tries to get in, tries to throw up the popped armor, just eats as much Eclipse damage as he can, and he goes down almost instantly, and it doesn't even matter then. If they lock down 2 heroes in the cogs with Weaver trying to finish off, it's a good lineup from Life. It just, they let Jo get out of control, and this is a really good game for Jo, coming off some not so good games recently on heroes like Animage, still getting a lot of farm and not being able to turn that into an advantage. And it looks like EG has battened down the hatches, and Fear had a really good draft here. The Witch Doctor pick did indeed pan out for them and just added an element of damage that they were probably previously missing. But the story for me has been Universe, not only just the godlike streak from Jo, but Universe just coming up like a monster with all of those ultimates every single time. It's on point, this game.
It really is. It's been pretty darn good, to be honest. And now Fogged running right into the smoked up heroes is going to get caught out here. Neck goes down. There's no way that Fogged is going to make it out of this one alive. The allies are nearby, but not nearby enough to be able to save them. We'll see if EG decides to fight this. They do indeed. Ace getting lassoed back. Jo with a huge ultimate on that bottom. Link taking a lot of right click damage now from Jo in the backfield. Fear gets hook shotted from Synderen. Synderen looking to pick him off. Blade Mail is going to be popped. MSS going to burn Synderen alive. Link still dishing out the damage. Manages to take down the Bane in the process, but it's going to be a 5-man wipe for Life. And that was without the Witch Doctor in the beginning of that fight. Still managed to take out 5. And Life is still trying to kick, but it's hard to do at this point. And EG,
it's a best of 3. I mean,
it is, yeah.
I say, you know, just don't let them build on this momentum. It's already getting worse. I don't think there's any way that they can contest this right now. It should have been GG out right there, but maybe they're just waiting for EG to kind of walk into the base and really force the call from them. But they shouldn't have a shot, as the gold graphs are indeed out of control. Over 15k in the way of EG experience, to the tune of 20,000, and there's the GG. So we will move on to a game 2, guys. EG taking the first engagement, and it looked handily, but I wouldn't say so for the first 20 minutes of the game. Very back and forth, and EG just managed to grab a hold. Jo going godlike, and Universe throwing down some huge ultimates.
Great game 1, to say the least, but you guys hang around. We're going to see if Life can fight back in this game, so stick around. My name is ProveAttitude, here with Ever. You can follow me at ProveDota on Twitter, and Ever is at EverX on Twitter as well. See you guys in just a moment.